Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're here in Florida. It's not sunny Florida. It's a cloudy day. Cold front's coming. What else is new when you go to Florida? Cold front's got to happen just before the tournament. This is my tournament practice recap. Let me tell you what I've been doing for 3 days and how it's been going and what my plans are for tomorrow when the Derby starts. We'll be right back, guys. Welcome back to Mark Fisher Outdoors, everybody. I'm Mark Fisher. So yeah, we've been down here in Florida for 3 days practicing. I've been down here for, I think, 5 days. Some VRBO mishaps. Believe it or not, I called when I was 2 hours away to say, hey, listen, I haven't heard yet about how to get into your house. And the guy calls back and says, we don't have a house anymore. We used to, but we don't rent that house out. And I called VRBO and they're like, we don't know anything about that. And so I'm 2 hours away without a place to stay, thanks to my buddy Steve Lopez, who hooked me up, and I ended up getting a place on Airbnb through him. So I appreciate that help, Steve. But yeah, so we made it down here. We went over to Lake Apopka on the last day of the BPT, and I was able to run up and down the lake and break in the new Merc. And we'll have a video about that coming up. And so anyway, we've been here for a while, and we had 3 days practice. So the interesting thing is, if you take a look at my graphs, I've got clusters of waypoints. You can go a stretch and not really get bit, and then when you get bit, all of a sudden you're putting 5 to 10 waypoints right in that area. So the fish are in certain areas. That's a good thing. And so from a standpoint of going into areas and going, okay, there are fish in these areas, that's what I like to see. I spent the first day on Lake Toho. My plan is to lock through, but it's a relatively small lock, and I know that it gets clogged up, and a lot of people make the run down to the Lake Kissimmee and some of the other lakes, whether it's Cypress or Hatchinaw or whatever. And so I needed to have some places around Toho for either before the lock or after the lock. So I spent a day on Toho, and then I spent the next 2 days down through the lock on Hatchinaw, Cypress, and Kissimmee. And like I said, when you're getting bit a lot. Unfortunately, I never really came across any true big fish. That's fine with me as long as they come during the tournament. But I really am a little nervous about, what I'm doing that isn't attracting those bigger fish. And so that's something that I'm going to have to make some adjustments in the tournament. But, being in Florida, I love being down here. I love the fact that I was able to wear shorts, although I don't think I'm going to be doing that in the tournament. We're literally going to be taking off on Friday, and it's going to be in the 40s. It is in Florida if you don't come during a cold front, and that's just the way it is. But being down in Florida, and you see the palm trees behind me, and the different wildlife and things like that. I love being down here, and it's truly a tournament where you can have a stinky day and come in with 8 pounds on one day and come in with 29 the next day and still cash a check. So I'm going to be, looking to get a limit and then hunt for big fish, and we'll see how that goes, kind of time the locks correctly and that kind of stuff. That's my strategy. I'm going to be heading down. We'll have to see what my boat number is and how that fits into the strategy. And again, the other part of this, forward facing hasn't really played too much of a role. So I'm not really concerned about the fact that the first day we use it and the second day we don't. But bottom line is, I'm throwing speed worms to catch fish, quantities of fish, chatterbait, Cincos in the hay grass and the Kissimmee grass, things like that, and a core tackle swim jig. That's what I've pretty much gotten bit on most of the time, and I've got a few other baits that I can throw if I'm using forward facing, jerk bait and some things like that. So that's kind of what I'm doing down here. We will be having a camera on board for both days of the tournament, and I'll give you a tournament recap after I get back, but just wanted to kind of give you a practice recap about what's been going on and how I've been doing lots of fish, just no bigs. But again, I'm 100% okay with saving all the big fish for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we'll see how that goes. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and you can watch the event on MLF Live. Just go to the website and they'll have it on if you want to do that. And we will be back on Monday with more Mark Fisher Outdoors. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Take care.